Is it time?
It's time.
It's time for week 3. Actually, I don't know what fucking week it is for the three of me bros. We don't keep track of time very well. But what I do know is that we just completed week 2 of the NFL season. And I don't know about you, Alex, but I know for me, I'm very excited for this week because I finally get to gloat a little bit. Just a little bit. Just one.
This is a simultaneously great week and horrible week. One, we're missing a lovely person of this podcast, so that kind of
Yeah, we
sucks.
are missing Justin.
And two, my team's the only team that got the L this week. Last week I was the only team that got the W. Now I'm the only team that got the L. So
well, you know what? It's karma. It was time. The Lions deserved this. I'm so excited. Well, I could sit here and talk about the Lions all day, and we will get to their glorious win over the Washington Commanders this week. But right now, I kind of like to get to a segment that I'm not going to be too excited about, and that is the results of our week 2 predictions. And I already know when I was sitting there watching those games, I'm like, fuck, I am just counting L's left and right. What are our official results?
all right, boys. Official results in last week. We never said them. I posted them on Twitter. Jay and I tied at 9-7, and Chris, you ended up with like 6-10, right? I think that was correct.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So unfortunately, not the best, but could be worse. And you did worse this week. So you ended with 5-11. You took some risky plays. You took the Texans because you didn't like how the Broncos looked. You took some.
I was close on that.
Yes, you were. You took some smart plays. Like we all took the Browns. It was hard. You took the Ravens. Who would have seen that thriller of a game coming? We all took the Vikings. So it's just a couple games that didn't go our way. Justin finished 9-7 last week, 6-10 this week. We had a little bit more of a downhill, and me,
I love
7-9. We all ended below 500 this week, which was kind of rough. But what are you
It
gonna
was
do?
a wild week in our defense.
And the fact that I was able to go 7-9, almost 500, even shocks me because after thinking about my picks, I was like, "What the hell?" Like my picks were really out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't believe the 3 games that I was wrong about. The Raiders. No, I know I had more than 3. The 3 specifically that are eating at me.
Okay.
The fucking Raiders
Yeah.
for blowing that game.
Wild.
The Ravens for blowing that game. And the Browns for blowing that game.
And I can't believe you picked the Vikings.
I was shocked by that too, but to be honest with you, the way that they were looking week 1, and granted that just goes to show you how stupid it is to pay too close attention to week 1, but they looked so dominant in week 1 that I figured, well, shit, the Lions almost got it done against the Eagles. Like the Vikings are probably going to play very well. I was not expecting the ass whooping that ensued.
True.
So
I guess we'll talk about it more later. Talk about it more later in the Lions scenario and in the Monday night scenarios. But some would say that this weekend was maybe memorable. What do you think, Chris?
I would say it was, out of the 2 weeks of football we've gotten so far, it was the most memorable week of football this year.
I would say at least top 2.
A lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. So, Chris, what are some of your memorable moments from this week, dude?
Well, I'm conflicted. Both of my 2 top memorable moments are pretty violent. The first one is shout out to Dane Jackson, who got lit the fuck up by his own teammate in that tackle situation where, I don't even want to think about it, is the way his head went back. That was scary. They brought the damn ambulance out for him. That was very memorable and not in a good way.
He got released today, though. So
yeah. And it was good to hear that he had feeling in all his extremities before they even took him to the hospital. That was a great sign, but still, that was scary as shit.
Scary.
So yeah, shout out to him and a good recovery. The other moment, also pretty violent, but in a more entertaining way, is the Saints-Bucks game. That was quite a brawl. I was watching that game from start to finish, and kind of a boring ass game, to be honest with you, up until that point.
Dude, literally so boring. Like I literally 3-3, maybe 10-3?
3-3, like deep into the 4th.
Horribly boring game.
Yeah.
But the like
The brawl
history.
made it
Yeah,
really
bro,
interesting.
the history between Mike Evans and uh what's his name again?
Lattimore.
Thank you. Is like ridiculous.
Yeah, they've already gone at it in person before. That's gotten Evans suspended, and also they talk shit on Twitter all the time. So that's fun. I mean, some people may not like it, may say it's bad for the game, but I
I
think that's
love it.
always entertaining. I love the rivalry. I love that they're in the same division.
And it just makes me want Mike Evans on my team more. That is a ride or die. You
Yeah.
don't
Did
you
you
don't
see
touch.
did you see him tell the ref that's Tom Brady? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, that's so good. It's like, dude, what do you want me to do? That
But
was
see,
perfect
he also did the same, almost a very similar situation the first time,
with Winston.
but with Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
So he's just ride or die with his QBs, and that's what you want to see.
that it
Yeah,
was
that fight
beautiful.
was nuts.
It was beautiful. It was beauty. My memorable moments were that the that Lamar Jackson broke passing and rushing yards,
Yeah,
and nobody is talking about it because the
no.
Dolphins got the win. That is like one of my biggest memorable
If
moments.
anything, yeah, what's overshadowing it is people saying, "Oh, okay, Tua can actually throw."
Dude got Rosie 50 points in fantasy. Wild.
Um, he specifically didn't get me points because I didn't have him in anything, but I have Waddle in one league and
Same.
Tyreek in another, and oh my god, did they light it up?
So that was pretty memorable. That a quarterback can have the most throwing and receiving yards or rushing
And then
yards.
just yeah, it was rushing yards,
Oh, the most rushing yards, and it just nothing. Like,
rushing yards and passing yards in the same game. I
yeah,
think is the record.
it was
Uh,
it was
and
ridiculous. Like how he doesn't talk. They don't talk about anything at all.
no, it's barely getting talked about.
And then my second of three, my second memorable moment is that literally Joey Burrow is dog shit and is gonna have a sophomore slump.
Oh, we didn't get. Oh, save it for hot takes. That was hot. It's understandable though.
No, it's not that hot. It's not that hot. I don't think it's
that,
that
that
hot.
was bad. That was bad. Yeah, I would say that game was very
I
memorable.
don't think it was that bad. I don't think it's that much of a hot take after two games. Like it's just like okay, like it just seems like it's memorable that he's been throwing interceptions that like it's like to the other team. You're not
He's
even
also the sacks that he's taking. So many of them are his own fault
yeah,
for holding on to the ball way too long.
100%. And so my last memorable moment is going to be the Falcons are going to be the Lions of last year. They're going to lose every game by like 2 or 3 points. And they're just they keep coming back on these really good teams and they shouldn't win these games. And they keep making them games without for like no reason. And so it was pretty memorable to see them come back again.
Yeah, they're an interesting team. You could definitely be right on that with them. Maybe only winning a small handful of games, but the rest of them being pretty damn close.
Yeah.
They need to get Kyle Pitts involved more.
Yeah.
Like
What is
that dude is an asset.
I don't
Like
understand
fucking
like
use him.
I don't understand how you have a tight end that is a receiver. Like it'd be like having Kelsey and not using him. It'd be like, what
Yeah.
do you mean? Like what? Like he's a receiver. He's a big
Why are
receiver.
you not making the game plan centered around getting him certain like shots?
Yeah, get him at least 10 receptions, get him 10 targets a game. Like that is a necessity.
Who the fuck else are you throwing it to when you got Kelvin Ridley
Yeah.
benched for the entire year?
Literally, you got nobody. You got
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
So
that's
I
a little
just
questionable.
yeah, so those are my three memorable moments is that like I can't believe how good the Falcons are kind of doing with their new hodgepodge team. That Joey Burrow is just not is throwing interceptions that shouldn't even be thrown, and that no one's talking about Lamar hitting this great achievement just because of how good the Dolphins look this year or this game.
Yeah. Who do you think's going to how do I phrase this? Who do you think's on a better trajectory from this week, on the Dolphins or Baltimore? Do you think this game was just a crazy fluke, or do you think the Dolphins are more of a legitimate threat in the AFC than the Ravens?
So I think the Dolphins were always going to be a legitimate threat just when you have Tyreek and Waddle and you have someone like Tua who his arm strength was not under any question yesterday. It was ridiculous.
Oh no.
2 days ago. It was ridiculous. He was throwing it down the field like nothing.
More so, I feel like he's always had arm strength.
but his arm
It's
accuracy.
accuracy and the way he can throw the ball, I think, was particularly questioned. And no, he looked great.
But I think this game made the Ravens scarier. The only reason I say that is because you come out, you have the performance of your lifetime, and you just get beat, right? So now it's either going to make them not lose another game this whole season just because of that, like, no, fuck
How the
this.
fuck did we let that
Yeah, like,
happen?
no, fuck this. Like, we're not going to let Lamar run 150 yards and throw, I don't even know what he threw, but like, just,
I think he ran like 175
yeah, like,
actually.
just literally command the field and lose, right? Like, how are you going to let your quarterback command the field in all aspects of the game and lose?
Yeah, that's really on the defense.
Literally. So it's like, I just think that it's gonna, like, I think Lamar is a good enough leader to go to that defense and go, if you guys don't fucking step up, we're not gonna go anywhere. So it's on you. And he's gonna make them take ownership. And I think it's gonna be good for them because this is not the Baltimore Ravens defense. 38 points. I would never expect the Baltimore Ravens defense to allow 38 points. It'd be like the Steelers defense allowing 38 points. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is not your MO.
No, that's true.
Your
Yeah,
MO is
that's not what you're known for.
no, you're not known for allowing high scoring points
No
shootouts.
matter who's on the defense.
Nope. You are tried and true. You are back to the basics. You blitz when you need to. You do great coverages. Their defense is just if you I don't know if you saw it, but today Matt Hasselback broke down like their defense. Dude.
Oh, on McAfee show.
Yeah. Dude, some of that shit
I
was
saw a
like,
little bit of that.
dude, they were playing like some lazy defense against Tyreek Hill. What are you doing? Like, why are you
Probably
allowing
gassed.
well, why are you allowing somebody to get behind you? If I'm holding, bro. I'm holding. like
Yeah,
like hold him. What are you doing? Like, why are you allowing him to get past you? He's literally the fastest man in the world on the football field. Like,
yeah, he's scary. And then you put Waddle on the other side, and it's
yeah.
like shit.
So I think this makes the Ravens a lot scarier if they can figure out how to get that defense to take ownership of we fucked this game up. Let's not do it again.
Does never have a performance like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And I'm sorry for getting a little sidetracked here, but that question just sparked this other question of, okay, you say that Miami was always going to be destined to be a bit of a AFC contender. People were just doubting too much. Could you see Miami actually competing with the Bills for the divisional title? Or do you say Bills no doubt own the division, but Miami will get a wild card spot?
So the thing is, the Bills own that division. That's just their thing, right? I want to see the Bills do something in the playoffs.
Oh
They're
yeah, they
they're
definitely
really,
have to prove it there.
dude, they are amazing in the preseason, the regular season. They're amazing in it. Like
They're amazing in the preseason too. Don't doubt them.
yeah, and even they're really good in the postseason.
Yeah.
They've just
Oh
played,
yeah, no, they can get it done.
they've just played better teams. So I think that I'm really excited to see that first game because I think that'll be the true test of actually what it's like, right? Like you're playing a top one or two team in the Bills, playing a top one or two team. So it's like, how are you going to fare? Are you going to win or you're not going to win? Right. But that's the old homage of fucking the Pittsburgh Steelers would beat the Patriots in every regular season game, but absolutely get handed to them in every postseason game.
Yeah.
So it doesn't,
when it mattered most.
yep, doesn't matter. Like, so it's just, I guess the regular season doesn't matter that much, but I want to see what Tua actually does under a defense that with Von Miller that's gotten 4 sacks this season already or something like that, 3 sacks this season, something crazy.
4, I think.
He had two the first game, and I think he had 2 last night. So it's like
he's an animal.
He's on a tear right now. So I want to see what they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other week 2 memorable moments?
I mean, there's a lot of them. We could talk about the Cardinals. That was wild, having the longest.
Yeah, I watched that game from start to finish too, obviously, since it's local here.
Yeah,
and
it was so boring.
It was so boring. Well, I mean, you know me, I enjoy watching the Cardinals kind of
know.
suck. So I was a little entertained, but in the grand scheme, it was a very boring game.
Yeah.
Until it wasn't. And I just could not believe my eyes, like, of what was happening. The Raiders completely fell apart.
And like, so I don't know if that was like I don't know if that was, this is why you paid Kyler. So if Kyler can do this every game, this is why you paid Kyler. This is exactly why you paid Kyler.
He he was really great. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think where the hang up is he is great when things break down. When
Oh,
things
when
break down,
like
he is
playing
pretty spectacular. Like, obviously, he didn't do so well when things broke down in that Rams playoff game, but for the
yeah,
most part, when things break down, he is very elusive.
when you're
He's very
playing,
good at getting away and making his feet an asset.
yeah,
Um, where I think that he's still overpaid is he'll get out studied, he'll get out brained,
his
so
like
to speak, by a guy like Tom Brady.
he'll get out quarterback just in general.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
when it
He
becomes
can't read a defense the way these other guys can read a defense.
when it
He can
becomes
react to a defense amazing. In a split second, he can
yeah,
react and do shit, but he can't read. Imagine if he could read the defense before the snap even happened. He'd be so much better.
he'd be unstoppable. Considerably one of the best quarterback ever if you have that kind of mobility and that ability to read a defense like that.
And
It can
if you think about it, think about Kyler Murray highlights. They're all when shit's gone wrong. They're all when he's running around. They're all when he's making throws on the run because he's got to get out of the pocket. There's very few highlights that get shown of him that are like, hey, the play went exactly how it was supposed to. He snapped the ball, he stayed in the pocket, went to his first or second read, and it was a beautiful play by everybody. There's very few Kyler Murray highlights like that because all of his spectacularness is because of his elusiveness, his athleticness.
question
Yes.
is that in part that the NFL wants to promote more hero ball, or
I don't know if the NFL
have,
promotes more hero ball, but there certainly seems to be quite a few quarterbacks that really like playing that street ball, hero ball style. Carson Wentz is kind of the king of that.
does well for him? I mean, he got
He has a crazy amount of yards this year already. He's like the second highest in the league in yards.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't win football games doing that, but in the grand scheme, I just don't think it wins.
Yeah,
In the grand scheme, you got to be prepared. You got to know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
Not just rely on your ability to
not rely on your defense to keep you in it, and then get a chance to make a scramble play to win the game.
That's the thing. They sealed the deal by a defensive turnover that was ran back.
That's what I'm saying. Like Kyler Murray had the option to get the ball down the field, score a touchdown, win the game for you.
Yeah.
And your defense got it done. I mean, that defense is going to be good, but like defense got it done.
Yeah, and I'm not, I am a hater of Kyler Murray, but I'm not saying that he wasn't spectacular in that game. He looked crazy at the end of that game to put them in position to win.
He was.
I got to talk shit because that's what I do.
I think he was great. I think he was good. I prefer. I liked it. I had a fun. I love Kyler. I'm a big fan of that kind of play. It's fun to watch. I think it's just more fun to watch.
Here's the question. Is that more indicative of this Cardinals team or of the Raiders team? Is it say more about this Cardinals team that they can go down like that and claw back up? Or is it more shit, this Raiders team can go up like that and fall apart?
It's just so weird with this Raiders team. I didn't know if they're going to be super good off the bat because of adding all these new pieces and trying to get like when you add a number.
I was kind of drinking the Raiders Kool-Aid.
But when you add a number one receiver, sure they played in college, but he's been with another quarterback for the last 5 years. 4 years, something like that. So it's not like it's just like picking up and riding a bike. You have to like get through that motion again of figuring out what your QB's cues are, what your QB, how he throws. Okay, he throws, it's a little bit longer of a release, it's a little bit shorter of a release. Oh, his ball arcs a little bit more, it arcs a little bit less, right? It's just those things you have to get used to. Sure, Devontae Adams is still going to probably be the number one receiver, but you can't like just overnight go into it and be like, oh, they're going to be fine. They were college teammates. So I just wanted to see.
Sure.
They look like they have.
There was a stretch of that game where it felt like Derek was not even wanting to target him at all.
Yeah. And it's like, why? And that's the thing when you have Waller and you have Adams and then you have Renfrow, like your team, you should be good. Like it should. And then you got Josh Jacobs in the backfield. Like you should be a good team.
And your defense is great.
Yeah. Like you shouldn't be.
You have players on that defense.
You shouldn't be 0-2 right now. Shouldn't be going into week 3 fighting for like a
You should be 1-1. I
Yeah,
can understand the loss to the Chargers,
you
whatever.
played a great game though. Like you could almost argue they could be 2-0. They played a really
And
good
they played
game,
a great game against the Cardinals up
but
until a
broke
certain
down in the
point.
last. Yeah, that was, I think that was the theme of this week, is
It's
breaking
fourth
down.
quarter
And
collapses.
yeah, you can't have those. You can't have those anymore. That's you just can't do it.
Speaking of wide receiver quarterback combos from college, there was another duo in that game in Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown. And they had a couple great connections. But what I've noticed in the first 2 weeks of Cardinals football is that Kyler actually seems to be going more after that Dortch guy,
Yeah.
more so than anyone else.
Well, that's because, like, just wait until Hopkins comes back. When Hollywood is a great slot number one, he's not a number one. He's not a true number one though. It's like
No,
the same.
he's not.
It's the same thing with Juju. Same thing with Juju. Juju, great slot number one. Really good out the slot. Really good at route running. Like, really good. Not a true number one. You cannot put a slot number one. If Wes Welker, not a true number one. He's probably the
He
most
had
amazing.
Moss.
He is probably the most amazing slot receiver.
More so than Edelman.
I mean, Edelman almost copied his game. You know what I mean?
I mean, he did copy his game.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. But like they're top two right there, right?
Yeah.
But if you put them as number ones, that's not going to happen. You need that big body receiver on the outside. You just need it, like, to take away some coverages, or a super fast guy like Tyreek, right? You just need them to take some coverages for them so that they can find what those little slot guys are good at, is finding the holes, catching and dropping, catching and running, catching and, like, you know.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think when Hopkins does come back, that's when we can really judge the team and see where they're at.
They just
I'm
need
curious.
to
Do you know off the top of your head when the Hard Knocks end season on them starts? Like
November,
what week that goes?
November 11th or something like that. November 9th, right around there.
So Hopkins should be back by then,
Oh yeah,
or
they showed him
okay.
in the preview. So I mean, why would they show him in the preview if he wasn't going to be
If
back?
they weren't planning on him being there, yeah.
He's gone to week 6 or week 7. So he starts week 7 back in. So
Okay.
week 7 is 4 weeks from now. So that's a month. So yeah, it should be back in because November should actually.
That's the other thing I keep thinking anytime that I'm watching the Cardinals is, oh, I can't wait for that in season Hard Knocks.
And
That'll be good.
I can't wait for Hopkins to come back to see what that team actually does. It's gonna be fun.
You just want him to come back because didn't you draft him?
I do in my leagues.
Oh my gosh. Please tell me they were both very late picks.
Very, like, 11.
Okay. That's pretty good.
I think that unless you got something else for this week 2, I mean, we could probably talk all day about it, but I think
we totally could.
I think the biggest takeaway from week 2 is just that teams need to stop falling apart in fourth quarter.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter collapses, I think, was the theme of this week.
Yeah.
Week 2. But I don't know about you, Alex. It's getting a little toasty over here. It's getting pretty damn steamy and hot. So hot you could melt steel. Let's pull back the steel curtain. Give me how you feel about week 2 of the Steelers against the Patriots. I know you're probably not too excited about this, but I'm very curious because, like you said, didn't we all pick the Steelers to win that game?
Every one of us picked the Steelers. I think what happened is they are babying Trubisky. So I don't know if you watched the game.
I did not. I was not able to watch that one.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's okay, because I'll let Alex give me every detail of it.
So basically, you have your longest play of 22 yards, 23 yards on a 30-second drill trying to get down the field at the end of the half. So of course you're going to get those bang bang plays where you can get a big chunk of yards because you're rushing, you're getting their defense caught off, right? How the fuck are you going to have your longest play be on a 30-second like drill to try to get down the field to get some points, right? Like that is not allowed. You cannot. It's almost like they are babying Trubisky. And I think Ben, I don't know if you saw Ben said, like, they need to allow Trubisky to throw. They need to let him throw the ball. They need to stop making him make these dumb small reads, give him the opportunity to throw the ball and give him the opportunity to make things happen, right? Because when your defense is that good and you can gain 4 yards of play, like what's the point of even playing freaking football anymore? Like, you run the ball. Not, I know you were really pissed about Najee,
Yeah, Najee once again was a disappointment in
but
fantasy for me.
but like it's hard when Najee has to run the ball and all they're afraid of is 4 yard passes, right? So
Oh yeah, totally.
they're not afraid of anything. Like they're not the fact that he has as many yards as he did with somebody being afraid of a 4 yard pass. Like it's insane that that's all we're allowing. It's almost like, so I remember last year Ben would throw like 60 times a game or something like that
Yeah,
because, or no, the year right before Najee because they didn't have a running back.
they
So
did. Yeah,
yeah, so their running game was like to just throw like wide receiver bubbles or like a quick slant or just something super quick to just get it out of his hand. It almost feels like they're trying to do that with Trubisky because they don't trust him to throw the ball. And I don't know why. And I don't know what, because that defense once again looks freaking fierce, bro.
oh my gosh, I did see. Yeah, you know me, I'm a big Devin Bush fan, so I saw some
Yeah.
highlights of him. Defense looking good. I didn't, like I said, I didn't watch the game, but I did see a lot of Steeler fans talking online, and the
Trash about
takeaway that I
Trubisky.
got was basically kind of what you just said: is they seem very unhappy with the play calling, and said that Trubisky, uh, what I saw, because people were chanting for Kenny
Kenny,
to come in,
Kenny,
and
Kenny.
so some people, some Steeler fans online were defending Trubisky about those chants and saying, look, it's not actually him, it's the play calling. When he's out there and they're they're rushing and they're not huddling and he's just making the play calling as they're going down the field, he's good. It's when
Yeah.
he's
Like
taking the call from the sideline that
when you did,
they suck.
when they did that, like whatever, 30-second drill, he called every play. He got the first play called in and he called every play after that.
Right.
It was like you got to. I think they forget that Trubisky is like a what 4, 5, 6 year veteran,
uh
something like that.
Five,
Yeah, 5.
whatever Patrick Mahomes is.
Yeah, but like okay, he is starting. He got to sit behind Josh Allen, who Josh Allen's a freak, right? So it's like you have this quarterback who has a lot of knowledge. Allow him, and the worst thing I would hate to happen is he doesn't get the opportunity to show what he can do before they put Kenny in, right? So
Right.
I'd hate the opportunity of us missing out on a could be a decent quarterback or a good quarterback because they didn't allow him to show what he can do under the Steelers' reign. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would just hate that they're trying to do this to protect him from something or protect his whatever, but you'll let him loose. And if he's not doing good, put Kenny in. Like, just let him have some
Exactly.
fun. This year was going to be kind of a rebuild year, anyways. Like, you just lost your franchise quarterback of the last 18 years. So it's just like, see what happens. Let him go out there. He's a Big Ben sized person. Give him the opportunity. Maybe he doesn't make the same throws, but maybe he makes plays that we couldn't have made because Ben was getting a little older and his was getting a little slower, so he couldn't have made those throws or those plays. And maybe now we got a younger Big Ben, but we won't know unless you because I'm a big fan of Kenny and Kenny's obviously probably the future, but don't give Mitch not the opportunity to play.
That's what I don't get is Kenny is the future and you
Yeah.
have him, like you have him in your back pocket. And I get, I mean, Tomlin may publicly say that he doesn't give a fuck about staying above 500 every year. He
Oh,
may
he
not act
does.
like that's an important does he?
Oh, when you have
Like
never.
when he's on TV, does and people
Oh
bring it
no,
up, does he act
no,
like
no.
he
He's
cares about it?
you got to remember. Tomlin is the
He's classy.
number one players coach in the league
Yeah.
ever. Like he literally, if it's he would rather lose every game and have men who like are like good, who don't do any dumb shit, who like are will fight almost like MCDC, who will fight every single game, and they just happen to lose. Sure, it would suck. We would hate our lives, right? But he would rather have that than a bunch of like talent,
No,
no
for
hard
sure.
working. So that's his mo. Is like he's
I
like
believe that.
classy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just classy.
But there's got to be a part of him that gives a fuck about
Yeah.
that,
Oh,
that does care, because I mean no other coach can really. Bill Belichick can't even say that.
no,
So he does have to care. Maybe that's where it comes in, is he's playing not to lose instead of
maybe
to
playing to
win.
win.
But
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
Maybe
also,
not.
I want to know. I don't know too much, But I want to know, like, I have a very hard time believing that Tomlin does any, even, I mean, maybe he helps, but does any of the play calling at all. I don't even think I don't know the
I don't
last
think he
time,
does.
I don't know the last time I've seen that guy call a play. Like, you know what I mean? So like how
Right, but he may have influence on how conservative the play calling
that is true.
is.
And he probably can change it if he'll change it if he wants to, but empower your offensive coordinator to take some risk.
Right.
Like
And when you have Kenny, what's the risk in just seeing what Mitch Trubisky can do? He's been in the league, like you said, for years. He just had a backup year to Josh Allen, probably learned a lot there. And so fucking try and let him loose, see what he can do. And if by week 6, week 7, it's an absolute no-go with him, for sure you can put in Kenny and it's a done deal. No one can
yeah,
say, oh, you didn't really
it
give
was
it
almost
your
like
all.
a Jimmy G last year. Jimmy G, if he didn't win all those games, Trey was coming in. Everyone knew it.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
He just kept winning. So
He
it's
just
like,
kept winning.
how do you take him out, right? So why don't we do that with Trubisky? See if we can. And I hope that hearing all the people are like, "Yo, let him throw, let him play. Like, we don't care. Let him play the ball. Like, let him play. Let's see what happens." Hopefully that swayed his decision this next week to where when they play the Browns, they will be able to throw a lot more and see a lot more.
Yeah, that will be very interesting because that's always a good matchup.
Always, man.
Lot of tensions and everything. So it'll be interesting to see
And
how Mitch plays
I
under
hate the
those
Browns. I
circumstances.
hate the Browns. But yeah, so that's all I really got is tough loss. Even worse loss because just some plays like not even just so sad that like our defense kept us in that game, and then our defense had a chance to even keep us in that game more, but Sutton had a perfect interception like right to him and he dropped it. But like, yo, even thinking about if he got that interception, I swear our offense would have given it back in 6 plays. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, our offense would have given it back in 6 plays. It wouldn't have mattered if he got that interception or not. But our defense is looking hella good. So if our offense can click it together, I think we'll have a good season.
Love it.
That's all I got. That's all I got from behind the steel curtain. I do know that I do get a little hungry around this time of the day, and I've I've fancied this place
What are you
called
hungry for?
maybe a little kneecap. So I fancy this place called Kneecap Diner. I don't know if you've ever
That's
heard of
right,
it,
baby.
but I would love to hear what conversations we have in the Kneecap Diner today, Chris.
Well, I am very excited for the Kneecap Diner today because I don't get to feel this way too often as a Lions fan. In fact, I don't know. I think is my shirt backwards for you?
You need to raise it up a little bit more.
Is it backwards for you though?
No, this team makes me drink.
Oh, you can read it.
Yeah.
It's backwards for me.
Oh, not for me,
Um,
bro.
Normally this is a shirt for pity, for damn it, same old Lions, but this shirt is now talking about celebratory drinks
Yeah.
because I am very happy with how they performed this week against the Washington Commanders. Now, I'm not going to be all Kool-Aid drinking here. I will say that it was a little disappointing to see that after halftime, they sort of let up on the gas a little bit. I know certain guys looked a little banged up here and there, but um, I still didn't like that the Commanders came and started scoring a little bit. I wanted to keep seeing the ass whooping, obviously.
They
But
were almost
regardless, we got the win.
they were almost a part of that fourth quarter
They were almost
fall
a part
apart.
of that fourth quarter. Like,
Yeah.
and then they got their shit together and stopped making it
Yeah.
a game. But uh, that was very exciting. My takeaways from it is Hutchinson is that dude. 3 sacks in the first half. Like, he's that guy. Um, Jeff Okuda looked better. He's our cornerback from Ohio State,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
who in the shitty ass Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn era, which I will mention again later on when we get to Monday night. During that era, we drafted him like number 3 overall in one of the drafts, number 4. He was a very high draft pick for us, and then kind of has been a bust in the sense that he just couldn't stay healthy.
That's
He's
rough.
been injured all the time, and so and then when he wasn't injured last year, it wasn't like he looked phenomenal. But he looked really good. So hopefully he stays healthy. Goff looked way better. Goff in that game was like, oh, okay, I see why you were the number one overall pick in your draft again. He's just inconsistent. You look at week 1 and you get bad Goff. You look at week 2 and you get good Goff. So he just needs to be more consistent. DeAndre Swift, fucking monster. That dude just tearing up the field. I'm so excited about him. I'm still kicking myself for not taking him in any fantasy leagues because I'm weird about certain. Like I will pick Lions players, but I'm a little weird about it sometimes, and I didn't want to jinx
not
him.
only Swift, but St. Brown.
I was just getting to him. St. Brown was a monster. Oh my gosh, he looked so good. Picking right back where he left off from last year, just tearing it up. He tied an NFL record where it's like 8 catches in every game for the past 8 games. So if he gets another game like that next week, he'll hold the record by himself. Right now he's tied with like Michael Thomas and someone else, I forget.
Dude, that's ridiculous. That's crazy.
No, he's tearing it up. I'm so excited for him. And what it was kind of weird. You would think I'd just be in the moment, enjoying that, but all I could think about was how scary our offense is going to be once we get Jameson Williams back and have him on the opposite side of St. Brown. Like,
Ridiculous.
holy shit, because he's going to bring that Tyreek level speed.
Yeah.
And so overall, super excited about the Lions. Can't wait to see where they go. Next week, we face the Vikings. And last week, I don't know if you remember, but I came on here and I was all nervous about the Vikings. And I was like, oh, I know I said we'd split in my preseason picks, but now I think they're going to take us both. Bullshit. We're fucking winning this week.
Yeah.
We're taking them out. Kirk Cousins looked like shit. So that's Lions all day. I'm super excited. I don't really have anything else to say besides.
You didn't even mention, bro. What did
I mention?
What a heartfelt story that
the offensive lineman.
Bro,
that was awesome. And holy shit, he played really good. He had some of his blocks in that game were like super impressive. So
I
happy for him.
Hearing him talk saying 20 contracts was ridiculous, man.
Yeah, he jumped around.
And so the fact that he like got on a team and then bro, he like I just call it the blindside block because he freaking took that cornerback down the field.
Down the field. Oh, yeah. To the point where the guy just turned around and decided to start running after the ball carrier. Dude, yeah, that was great.
What a cool moment. And what a cool moment to get shot out by your teammates in a locker room.
Yeah, in the locker room. And that locker room looks so hype. And I know I think I texted you and Justin this, but I know I was texting other people, other Lions fans, like, fuck, I wish I was in that locker room, both at halftime when they're only 2-0 and at because like I can't imagine what MCDC was like.
Bro, and what a cool experience just to see like how good they could have been and like how good they could be this year.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I shouldn't, I'm trying not to be too optimistic, but the way I've seen them play so far this year, even in that loss against the Eagles, it has me hyped. Like I'm very excited about where this team's going. And I stand by what I said before the season, where I think, whether or not they win the division is here nor there, but I think they're going to the playoffs.
And the fact that they lost by, what was it? How many points did they lose by last week?
3.
With bad Goff?
With bad Goff.
You can't
injuries.
Yeah, sure. Like that's awesome. Anything else to say about the Lions other than let's go?
No, I mean, I could drone on and on about the Lions all damn day. I'm just super excited for next week and the rest of the season, especially when Jameson Williams comes back. That's all I got to say.
We miss one of our bros, but we have a very special corner that we like to call
Cowboys corner. Fuck the Cowboys. I only got the moo. No,
that's okay.
Just the moo. That was a fail.
That's okay because I can fill it in later.
We'll fill it in later. I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it like that.
Yeah, same.
Okay, fuck it.
Hold on, let me.
But you know what wasn't a fail is the fact that the Cowboys actually won this week when all three of us, including Justin, counted them out.
Dude, no,
We all said
they.
no way they win that game.
I don't. So we talked about this a little bit in the group chat, but they looked better with Rush than they did with Dak. I don't know
they
how.
they did. Rush played better than Dak did before Dak got hurt.
Don't know how. Also, we talked about this earlier. How bad did the Bengals look?
They look pretty damn bad.
Like their team isn't that different from last year. I don't think it's super. It seems very similar to what I can look at.
Yeah,
But
in fact, they tried to add to that O line.
yeah,
They
and
try
it's
to
like,
make that O line better.
what is going on? Like, what is happening? Why are we not using Jamar Chase like Jamar Chase? Why?
So when I saw the score of your Steelers Patriots game,
Yeah,
I was shocked, of course. But I then reminded myself, well, if you think about it, the Bengals should have won that game like 2 or 3 times.
yeah.
So, if anything, maybe that win was more lucky by the Steelers, obviously. But I was just impressed that the Steelers were that close anyway
It,
against the
it
Bengals.
was it was just more our defense once again kept us in it. Every
Right.
defensive special team was the only reason we won that game. Like it was the only reason.
And then you watch the Bengals up against the Cowboys, who we know, especially without Dak, or should be absolute trash. And
And
then they play that way is like, okay, maybe the Bengals are,
so
like you said earlier, gonna have a real bad Super Bowl hangover.
hold on. Once again, they play the Jets next week. So not the best defensive team, right? So they played two pretty good defensive teams. Like literally, like
Yeah,
you
Cowboys
go.
defense is the best thing they have.
So
Micah
you
Parsons was all over Burrow.
yeah, and then so like I want to see what they look like next week when they play a average defense. Maybe Joey is just feeling a little bit hungover from the Super Bowl. But yo, I have nothing but to praise the Cowboys. No way you get that win without a starting quarterback. And now it doesn't matter if you lose the rest of the games, rest of the 4 or 5 games. Like you won a game without Dak. That is a
Oh
big
yeah.
thing.
No, like I was thinking about it last night, and maybe I'm wrong because I obviously don't know the man, but to me, Cooper Rush probably slept like a fucking baby the night before that game because he knew everybody, including Jerry Jones, was counting them out of that game. No one thought they were going to win that game. They thought the Bengals were coming off of a ugly situation that they're going to be pissed off about. They're going to play so hard, and the Cowboys are already down hard with injuries. Like everyone expected them to lose. So he probably had no pressure on him, went out there and just was slinging it.
Dude, and looked so good. And those receivers looked awake. I don't know what happened from week 1 to week 2. But
Well,
I mean, you played
a
Tampa Bay
lot of it
defense.
was Dak in week 1.
Yeah. And you
Dak,
played
some of the throwing that Dak was doing in week 1 was
was
absolute dog shit.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest. I love Dak. But if Cooper goes undefeated, well, I'm just saying, if Cooper goes undefeated, do you take him out? Like, do you know what I mean? Like he goes
No.
he goes 5-0. Do you put Dak back in and you potentially lose a first? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that's always hearsay, but like that is like
Here's the thing.
the
If
real question now.
let's say that they are 5-0.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, 5-1.
5-1.
Yeah.
But let's say they're 5-0 under Cooper. And it's not just that they're 5-0 under Cooper, but Cooper Rush looks fucking good.
Like Cooper Rush is the reason they're winning.
Yes, like he looks really good. What I think they would do, if anything, if they really wanted to keep him in there, they would just prolong Dak's recovery.
Yeah.
They would just, be like, Dak, we really don't want to rush you back in there. We think we have a shot at the division. We want to save you for I don't know, something. I feel like they would more kind of make it seem like Dak's injury is having a setback more so than, oh, Dak's back, but we're not putting him in. Because here's the thing. They're paying Dak so much money that I don't give a shit how good Cooper Rush is doing. As soon as Dak is technically back, they have to put him back
That's
in.
just ridiculous. But like, so I remember before the season started, we were talking about how easy the schedule kind of looks, right? For the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Giants, you have the Commanders, and then you have like a hard game in the Rams. Giants are kind of looking dirty. Commanders are kind of looking dirty. Like sure they
Commanders
lost,
are definitely going to bring it to you. They're going to bring you a game.
right? The easiest game right now almost seems like the Rams. You know, just like thinking about it and how the Rams have been doing this week, these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they've been a little off.
Yeah, the Giants looking nasty with it,
They
but
look great this week, but still not them full selves. They're full
no,
selves.
they got a lot better this week.
Cup gave me a lot of good points in one
Yeah,
league, but
I think he always will. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I think the Cowboys corner. I'm sad that Justin's not here to support it. And
yeah,
even,
I was looking forward to how excited he would be, and then I remembered, oh, he's not going to be
yeah,
here
I
this
know.
week.
So we'll be excited for you, Jay. We're excited the Cowboys got a W. I mean, I am. I know Chris isn't because he's not a big Cowboys fan.
Fuck the
So,
Cowboys.
yeah, I think that wraps up our team seggies, dude.
Here's before we
Oh.
totally wrap it up.
Okay.
You were alluding to it earlier. The real trouble for the Bengals will be next week. If they lose to the Jets
Bro.
and start 0-3, sound the alarm bells. They're having a shitty season the rest of the way.
Dude, what is going on with them? Yeah. So big fan of my division team losing, but
I'm sure you were.
big fan of Joey Burrow. I like Joey Burrow, right? Like, how can you not like Joe Burrow? He's just Mr. Swag, Mr. Cool, kind of just like, right?
He is cool. I like him.
Yeah. My order of hating teams, it goes Ravens, Browns, Bengals. So they're like the lower one. They're like the lowest ones. Anything that the Ravens
Has it always been that way?
no, it was
Have you always
actually,
hated the Browns more than the Bengals?
no. I used to hate the Bengals with Andy Dalton. Hate the Bengals with the Red Rocket. I don't know why. I just hated the Bengals.
Like in their era where they were actually kind of good and like making the playoffs,
Yeah,
or
like
just
when
the entire Andy Dalton
the
era?
whole time. But it's especially when it was always like the 16 playoff and 3 of them were from the AFC North. It's like
Yeah.
kind of annoying. It was just kind of
I
annoying.
do
But
remember those days.
but it was just I hated Cincinnati. But then they got rid of him, and it was at that time it was so hard to hate the Browns.
That's how I feel about the Steelers. I'm so glad you guys don't have Big Ben anymore.
Yeah, right. But it's so fucking hard to hate the Browns when they get 2 wins a year.
I hate the Browns when they get 2 wins a year.
I understand that, but like Lions.
Speaking of, go on.
Lions have had a rough go of it the last couple years, right?
I mean, much longer than that, but like, yes, specifically the Matt Patricia era is fucking awful.
So imagine that times like 3 was the Browns like could do nothing for years, right? So when
the list of QBs alone.
I think it was that I didn't hate them. I still hated them, but I think it was just like, oh, it's the Browns. Like, you know what I mean? It's
like you weren't worried about them.
No, but I fucking hated the Bengals. Like, so right now the Bengals are probably the least team I like hate. Still hate them, but like Ravens will always be number 1. They are the trashiest team in the NFL. Then you have the Browns, who are just after the hit on Mason.
Yeah.
It's just like idiotic play, like protecting nobody. You're just mad for no reason, kind of like Aaron Donald, just dumb. You're mad for no reason. Why are you letting your emotions lead what you do? Be a team captain. Sorry, both of you are team captains. Be a team captain and don't do dumb shit, and don't let your troops see you do dumb shit. That's why
I agree.
Also, why I hate the Browns is because you let your captain do dumb shit and allow your team to suffer from it, right? You allow because in essence, your troops behind you, your defensive troops, to see, oh, we're just gonna like the Lions eat kneecaps. That is their thing. They like that is who they embody. Their grit, right? The Browns don't eat kneecaps. That is not their thing, right?
The Browns don't know what their thing is. They got a fucking elf on the field. They have dogs by the tunnel where they run out, and then they're just an orange helmet logo.
Yeah.
They don't know what they are.
They're dumb, bro. That's what they are. So when you make a dumb decision and sign somebody, your whole team has no values. This is why I also hate them.
Yeah, fuck the Browns for recent like, decision making.
Your whole team has no values for no reason. That's why I also like Tomlin. Tomlin would never make that sign.
Did you see what happened to Jimmy Haslam at the end of the game this week?
No, what happened?
I'll send you the video when we get off this. Basically, he was on the sideline, and as soon as it became clear that the Jets were about to win, he tried to walk into the tunnel, and a Browns fan threw a bottle at him.
Let's go, dude. Like,
my favorite Browns fan ever.
But like, it just makes that when you make dumb decisions that are going to affect the culture of your team because you're allowing like just like the Rams. I'd say kind of part of it might be why they're starting. I mean, they're 1-1. We're 1-1 right now, but they don't look good. You're allowing your team captains to use emotion and like lead with this like you can't hit somebody in the head with a helmet. Like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Like that is like that's literally assault. I'm surprised that these guys aren't in jail. Like that is assault. I go out into the world and hit someone with a helmet. That's assault.
with a deadly weapon
You know what I mean? Like so, how are
or
these
a
people
weapon.
a weapon? So it's like how are these people like just it's whatever. I get paid millions of dollars, so it doesn't affect me. It's like that's fucking assault.
I agree, but sometimes those divisional tensions just get really
Oh,
high.
fuck that,
I'm not
bro.
saying it's okay, but like
I'm
we
okay
said
with the,
earlier, look at the Saints and the Bucks. I
but that's a
mean,
fight. That's a fight. Sure,
yeah,
cool. Not taking the helmet off of somebody and
no,
fucking hitting
that
them in the
was
head.
extreme.
Like,
That was
cool.
extreme.
I'm down for fights like that. I like that. It brings kind of hockey into football. I like the fights. I like the physicalness. The reason the Bucks won was because
Yeah, that
almost
fight kind of
because of
ignited
Evans,
them.
right? Because almost Evans, right? You lose your best receiver, but they also lose what was holding their defense together. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you took one for the team and you made sure your team knew that you were ready to stand up for them. But yeah, I don't know, man. The fucking Browns suck. But we could
We
talk
could
about
talk all day about divisional foes, but I think the divisional foe that I want to talk about the most um, is one of mine, the Vikings, and one of the Cowboys, the Eagles. And let's hop back to Monday night last night into that Eagles Vikings game, which I fucking loved every second of. We already went over this. I was wrong in my predictions of that game. I thought the Vikings looked really good week one against the Packers. I thought, well, if the Lions could almost beat the Eagles and the Vikings look that good, the Vikings are probably got a good chance of that. But oh
not true.
boy, it was an ass whooping.
Also, can I just say, did I make a mistake by not taking that bet?
Dude, I was thinking about that as well. You made a mistake because
Dude,
the
they look
Eagles look real.
so I had this feeling just because like when you have a team like they like Justin will always down talk the Eagles.
Oh
So
yeah.
he got into my head a little bit. But I think when you have a team like they had last year and then you only add a top 7 wide receiver, the only way that they're going to go is up. Like there's no possible other way for them to go but up. When you you know what I mean? Like
Well, yeah, and Jalen Hurts matured a ton.
yeah, and
He's
so,
gotten so much better.
so it's like night and day. It's like what Kyler should be doing. So
Yes,
it's
the
almost how
leaps, the
yeah,
leaps that he are being made.
yeah.
Yes.
And so I like loved watching. What I love Monday night games when you don't care about either of the teams, right? Don't care about the
Yeah, you can just
Vikings,
enjoy the game.
don't care about the Eagles, don't care about the Titans, don't care about the Bills. Like I don't care about these teams, right? I think I like the Vikings more than I do the Eagles, and I think I like the Bills more than I do the Titans. But like I don't really care, right? I'm like, oh, they lost, whatever, it doesn't matter. If I have a fantasy player, you better fucking ball out. but
Yeah,
like, but like other than that, I love watching these games, and these were snooze fests to watch. And I'm also
at a
shocked.
certain point.
Maybe this is what happened to the Eagles with the Lions, but the one downside is they almost seem like they let up again. How the hell?
And that could have been the case with the Lions
How
and why
the
the Lions were able
yeah?
to scrape back. But
Because how the hell do you win by 2 touchdowns per se, 2.5 touchdowns when you have like 4 interceptions? like,
yeah, they didn't always finish on those.
yeah,
It's hard. I think overall they looked really damn good. They only
dude,
let
they
the
looked,
Vikings score once. Um,
and that was they
Speaking of
had
those picks, though, I
what
was cursing Matt Patricia and Dan Quinn because I had to sit there and watch Darius Slay be big play Slay and do his thing. And I had to sit there and know, oh, he's only there because those two dumbasses didn't want to look at him like the elite back that he is and instead treated him like shit to the point where he wanted to be traded and they sent him to Philly and got in return what
wait
he's actually worth.
wait a minute, he's from Detroit.
Yeah, he was with the
Oh,
Lions.
well, I didn't
He
know
was with
that.
the Lions. Then Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn came in, and he fucking hated them like the rest of us. And basically, the story is that Matt Patricia told him that he's not elite. He's good, but he's not elite. Um, and called him out in a meeting for something stupid. I forget now, but basically disrespected him and then sent his ass to Philly for not what he's worth in return. And so it's just hard for me to see him
And
and
what,
see him play so well. And I'm happy for him. Nothing against him. I'm glad that he's killing it, but it's just
yeah,
like fuck. Can you imagine
like,
how great the Lions would be if we still had him?
yo, that would be like your missing secondary piece, that key leader who's good, who can make plays on the ball for you, that can make your young guys make better plays. Like,
Yep.
it's exactly what you guys need right now. It's exactly what you,
Absolutely. So
and your
fuck you,
team,
Matt Patricia.
yeah.
Fuck you, Dan Quinn. Stay away from
And
anything related to football while you're fucking up the Patriots offense over there.
they really are. I mean, I can't really say much. We just lost them, um, but we could talk about Eagles, Vikings, whatever, all day, per usual on every other topic that we've talked about. What I want to hear is, how does Kirk Cousins recover from a loss like this?
He's
Where,
trash.
hold on, where he throws four, I think he threw four interceptions,
Yeah.
and his GM 2 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago said that he was okay.
After giving him a shit ton of money, too. That was the
Right.
funniest thing.
And so,
They just gave him another gigantic bag of money and then said he's okay.
I want to know, like, how do you think Kirk Cousins is going to come? Obviously, you hate him. I know you hate him. Look at this objectively, no bias. He is a quarterback for a different team. How does he come out? How does he come out of this game where, like, I feel like he's almost like he's on like pins and needles this year because your GM just told you that you're okay.
Well, not only that, he gets called the most overrated and overpaid quarterback of all time by a lot of talking heads. He gets shit on by Vikings fans. Like go on TikTok and there's
I don't
people
think he
making fun of how he throws. What?
I don't think he deserves it, but it's my thought.
No, I think he does. I mean, he doesn't deserve it in the sense that I think he's a bad person and like, we should be harassing him, but I think he deserves it in that he's gotten a lot of money, which, hey, no, I'm not going to hate on him for that. That's called being a good fucking business person. And
Yeah.
he's smart. His agent's smart, whatever like his whole thing with what he did with Washington, where they clearly weren't going to sign him to a big long-term deal. So he just kept taking the tag and then walked out with a big free, like, not going to hate on him for anything like that. I just think that he is not worth the money that the Vikings have been paying him.
Is it him or is it the new offense?
It's too early to say. I mean, I'd love to lean towards it's him because we've seen a lot more of who he is over the years. And
But that's with a defensive minded coach, that their offense was, no disrespect, but like very basic to most defenses.
what's really what is improved with the offense under this new offensive guru?
Where he's better schemes. Like it's just like the 49ers when they went from Singletary to Shanahan. You just, I'm not comparing those two people, like Shanahan and this new guy at,
I'm not saying that
but you got to think. I think he'll do a lot better this year. Jefferson, I don't know how the fuck you don't just give the ball to Jefferson. What the fuck
well,
is that about?
that's the thing is he kept trying to force feed Jefferson. And I'm not going to say the entire game was on him because there was that really awful drop. Number 84, I completely blanking on his name.
Smith Jr.
Smith Jr. I think it's Irving Smith Jr. Sorry to call you out, dude. But that was an ugly drop. That's going to haunt him for years. That was not on Kirk.
Dude, that was a beautiful ball.
Beautiful ball. He was under pressure. And that's really my big gripe with him is he's just so wildly inconsistent that he's just not worth that big money.
Almost like Goff.
Yeah.
It's like I would love to see if Goff played like this every game. I would love him as a quarterback.
Yeah, if Goff played like he did this week every week, then I would say let's sign him to a long-term deal. But he's not, so I don't know if I really want him
Just
long-term.
like that. That's why like Stafford was such model of consistency. He threw for so many yards every year.
Yeah, did he make mistakes here and there? Everybody does, but he was never the reason that the Lions sucked.
No.
And so you're right. Kirk could get better in this new scheme as the year goes on for sure. And Jefferson is a huge asset for him. But at the end of the day, I'm not confident in him as a quarterback that can take a team deep into the playoffs.
I would love to see what happens. I want to see what happens. I think that wraps that up. And I think this next one's gonna be hella quick. There's not much to talk about, but the Bills absolutely dominate the Titans.
Dude, that was I kind of knew it was going to happen. Like I knew the Bills would handle the Titans pretty well. I didn't know it would be that bad though.
Bro,
I didn't know it would be that obvious.
It was bad.
I thought they just went by a couple scores, and look pretty solid on both sides of the ball. But I mean, Titans didn't have a shot.
No,
Titans never felt like they had a shot.
No, I will tell you, I was surprised by they drove down the field, just scored on them. They were like, they went score for score, and then it was just Bills the whole time. Like they went score for score, 7-7. Cool. Hey, this could be a good game. We're 2 drives in and we got 2 touchdowns, and then the Bills just absolutely.
And then
murdered. Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah, and then like we got to see Willis for the first time. I didn't watch any of it because I was too busy watching the Eagles game because it was more entertaining. But got to see Willis, so hopefully that went well.
Here's the question that I'm so curious to know. You can't really answer it unless you secretly work for the Titans over there in Tennessee and you haven't told me. But I'm so curious to know if Malik starts this coming week or if they go back to Tannehill. Was that just hey, Tannehill just looked like absolute shit, so we were trying something else, but we still got our asses kicked, so Tannehill's still our guy? Or is this I think we're going to start to try and veer to Malik?
Like, I understand, like, you always blame the quarterback, but they couldn't get their running game going. Their defense.
Oh, no. Yeah. It was all over bad.
Defense all over bad. Like, come on, dude. And it's just like, I'm going to be pissed if the Bills just run over every team like this. They won 31-10 last week.
Dude, they're going to lose on Thanksgiving to the Lions. Don't even worry about it.
I actually, like, you never know, bro. The Lions
you never know. But I agree. I think the Bills are scary as shit, but they'll lose 1 or 2 games.
No, I understand they'll lose a couple, but it's like if this is the way their games are going to be, they're going to be so boring to watch. 41-7, 31-10.
This is probably what their divisional games are going to be. Like they might be closer with the Dolphins a little bit, but I think they're going to absolutely destroy the Patriots and the Jets.
I don't know, man. I think it was a pretty easy wrap. The Bills, once again,
Derrick Henry. Do you think he's past his prime? Do you think we've seen the best of Derrick Henry?
No. The only thing that I think we have 1 or 2 more years, but the thing is he relies on a good passing game. So like Tannehill isn't a great passer, but I mean he's actually a pretty good passer, but he relies on a game that can actually throw the ball. If you feed him, and I'm no disrespect to Mr. Henry himself, but sometimes I feel like he thinks he's like 5'9", 110 pounds. Like he looks like he doesn't know how to run in his body sometimes.
Like he looks awkward to you?
No, he just looks like he runs soft. I don't know if so I would never want to get in his way. He's a big boy. But if you watch like Aaron Jones from the Packers, that man runs. Like that man, like he will hit you.
Want to see more aggression out of his running.
Dude, you're 6'2", 280, 6'3", 280. Like fucking hit somebody. Like the fact that you're not moving offensive linemen that are 20 pounds heavier than you, or defensive linemen that are 20 pounds heavier than you. How? With the full head of steam towards them? You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. It's like how? Like,
well, Alex, I think just because this is running through my brain with Derrick Henry, I think it's also just a great time to transition into our hot takes for this week. And I'm just going to start right off the bat, sticking with Derrick Henry, and say that from what I've seen with running backs, they have their stretch of time where they're, especially the best running back in the league,
they're elite.
It's like Oh, they are that dude for like 2, 3, maybe 4 years straight where they just look untouchable. And then they're just never the same. So my hot take is that we've seen that stretch for Derrick Henry. I'm not
Same.
rooting for it because I love watching him be dominant. He's fun when he goes off, but it just seems so far this year that maybe we've seen the best out of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, same. I think he's had his career. I think Marshawn had it. L,
Chris Johnson,
LT had it even. He was probably for a little bit longer than most, but he had it still at the
Adrian
end.
Peterson is another guy who held
AP,
on longer, but still there was that time where
you
he
had
definitely was not prime AP.
Le'Veon Bell. Like he
Le'Veon
just
Bell.
had.
Le'Veon Bell fell off hard.
Well, I mean, freaking look what Jonathan Taylor's doing. Like it's
Those
just like,
Colts, man.
dude, we'll get into them in a second. But yeah, I think, and you know, it's funny enough. You know who could be taking his position? DeAndre Swift.
No, not DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
What?
Not like in just like as a number one back in the NFL.
Oh,
I could see like if
I
Swift.
thought I don't know why my brain went to you being like, oh, they're gonna pull Derrick Henry and he won't be the starting running back anymore for
Now
the Titans. Because
be,
I was gonna say Hassan Haskins, my boy from Michigan, is down there as one of Derrick Henry's backups. But yeah, I mean Swift is definitely emerging and making a case
he
for
could
himself
be
as one of the top
he
backs in
could
the
come
league.
number one. Like I don't, out of the first 2 weeks, he's the only one that looks like, damn,
Yeah,
okay, like
he came to play.
damn, he like whatever Deuce said to him, fucking it
Yeah,
they
he
took it.
got a
Like
fire lit under
yeah,
him.
he is here to play, and he could be the number one for this year. Like he could be an absolute monster this year, and I
Oh,
think
I'm
that
loving that hot take, dude.
yeah, I think I'll take that as my first hot take. Is he's going to be the number one running back at the end of the year?
Fuck yeah, I'll get behind that.
Bro,
Throw some fire on there.
it's just so hard to like see how he's not when, like you said, Williamson, right? That's his last name.
Um,
The wide receiver that's out.
yeah, Jamison Williams.
So Williams. So when he comes back, bro, oh my gosh, the team's gonna be even scarier because like,
Oh, so scary.
and their the problem isn't their offense. Their offense looks good. Their offense looks good. It's their defense. So
Yes, it's their defense, specifically, really their secondary.
yeah, and so but the cool thing about Swift is he's a catching back.
Yep,
So he's gonna get out the back.
double trouble.
He's gonna get his points. Like that was Jonathan Taylor was really great last year, but Hines got all the touches for out of the
Yeah.
out of the backfield catching. So it was just he's a dual threat. I think he's gonna be the number one back this year. The second
Hot taker.
hot take is that the Colts don't win a game till game 6. They go fucking
Oh,
0-5-1.
well, I mean, my next hot take was definitely going to be shitting on them too, and but specifically on Matty Ice. But tell me, what are their next games that
So
make you think that?
you know why I think so I this is when they get their first win. So they lose to the Chiefs,
Okay.
they lose to the Titans,
Yep.
they lose to the Broncos. Maybe not. Who
Mm.
knows? Who knows? But they come back in week 6 and get their revenge against the Jags.
What? Oh, okay.
Trying to
Honestly, I say they lose that too.
and then they play the Titans again. Then they play the Commanders. Then they play the Patriots. Like their team just isn't.
They're gonna have a real bad year.
Then they play a Raiders. Like then they play the Eagles. Holy crap! Like they're just
Frank Wright's getting fired this year.
Yeah. Then they play
Unfortunately.
They play the Steelers, and if Matty Ice is playing like he is, and our Steelers defense is playing like they are still, holy crap!
Pick City.
Like it's just like their team. Then they have their bye officially week 14. Yeah, week 14.
That can't come soon enough for them.
Dude, that's so
they're
far.
gonna be really bad. I picked them obviously to beat the Jags, and
Same.
I thought that would be
A no-brainer.
I
But
thought
guess
that'd be an
not.
easy game. But the fact that the Jags blew them out 24-0
20.
and we beat the Commanders, and the week 1 the Commanders beat the Jags, it was like, I mean, maybe I'm reading too far into this, but seems like the Lions are better than all three of those motherfuckers.
I don't know. I mean, they're definitely better than Colts. The Jaguars didn't watch the game, but 24-0 speaks a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It speaks volumes. Like shut out a team, and not only to beat them by 24, but to shut them out.
To shut them out, that's hard to do in the NFL.
That's like hard. Like, I mean, if you look at all
That
these,
just shows you how bad Matty Ice is. Now, I think Pittman was out of that game,
doesn't matter. You
but
don't
it
get
does not matter.
shut
You do
out.
not
You don't get
lose.
shut out
Yeah,
when you
you
have
don't lose
Jonathan
like that.
Taylor and the backfield. Like you don't what the fuck, bro? So I don't know. I don't know. I think that they're just being trashed. Like they're gonna be really, really trash this year. I don't know if that's a hot take. My last hot take is gonna hate my NFC East fans are gonna hate me for this.
Uh-oh. Justin's not here.
I know. The Giants win that division.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I will make a bet with you right now. That is not happening.
But listen,
you are smoking crack if you
listen.
think that any team that is not the Eagles win that division.
The Eagles win the division, but I just want it to come true. Like the Eagles win that division. There's no possible way.
If that comes true, we will come back to this and blast this clip out
because bro, like,
in your honor for being crazy enough to make
the
that
Giants,
prediction.
Dude. I just like I don't think anyone saw them starting 2-0.
No, I didn't. No one did.
So it's just like this new head coach. Danny Dimes is throwing dimes. Kadarius Toney's doing his thing out there, right? They beat the Panthers.
The Panthers,
and they beat the who'd they beat the first game? I forget. They beat the Titans. Titans are kind of trash though.
Titans are shit.
But
we're just saying everyone's ass.
Hey, they win the division. That's what I'm going for. They win the division this year. It's a big hot take.
All right. Well, my final hot take is going to be very similar to the hot take that I made last week. And that is that the Broncos are going to be trash and that Russell Wilson specifically is going to have a very disappointing year. When this year is all said and done, we're going to look at Russell Wilson's performance in Denver and go, oh, we overhyped this.
Yes, sir.
I'm not saying that he won't be better next year. But I just, you know me, I'm not very confident in Russell Wilson being a top tier QB. And even though they did squeak out the win this week against the Texans, people were talking like, oh, do you think Russell and the Broncos are going to win that division? I'm sorry, you don't squeak against the current Texans team and win the AFC West in its current state. Yeah. You're just not doing that. So they're for sure coming in dead last in the West. Easy. That's not a hot take. That's just the truth.
But the hot take is that Russ is going to be bad this year.
Yeah, the hot take is that Russ will be looked at as one of the factors as why they're bad.
Damn. All right. Well, I think the last thing to do is pick Thursday night game.
Oh boy.
We're going down to Cleveland. Where
Cleveland sucks.
They do the Browns. You've heard how much we hate the Browns on this podcast. It's where the Steelers take on the Browns. Thursday night game. A couple days from now. Super excited. I think you know who I'm going with.
The Steelers.
Steelers take the W, baby.
Man. No chance of TJ Watt coming back, huh?
Nah.
Then unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with the Browns. I'm not feeling great about that pick, especially after they just choked so bad to the Jets in the final 2 minutes. But it's not really so much to do with the Browns as it is to do with the Steelers just cannot seem to win without TJ Watt since he's been with the team.
0-5.
0-5 without him. He seems to be the only guy who knows how to get to the QB on that D line.
They had TJ Watt by committee yesterday.
Hey,
what's up, kitty cat? They had TJ Watt by committee yesterday. They
by committee.
Yeah, they had like a couple guys get in there. Like, I mean, but like the thing is, I think this is where you bring in Highsmith, you bring in Jack, fucking get something done. Like, let's do this.
You said the game is in Cleveland
Yeah,
on that stupid elf.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just see I
I'm
see you guys
excited.
splitting, so I'm just gonna go with home field and home field.
I'm excited to
And yeah,
see if they let Kenny open up or if they let Mitchell open up.
I hope they do.
Because I think it'd be fun to watch. I think it'd be fun. Did you get a chance to watch the new way that they did Amazon football?
Um, what do you mean? Because I know there was a couple different options for it.
So where like they put like the routes that they're running on.
I did not choose that option.
What'd you choose?
I just chose the normal
Oh, okay.
broadcast through it. But mostly because I started it a little late when I got home, and so I just wanted to get it on real
Yeah.
fast. This week I probably will
It was,
try out
it was
that
pretty
other
cool. It's
option because
interesting.
I
It's
heard
just-
it's like watching a video game.
yeah, it's literally so interesting. Like it's a different world. The way that they're shooting games nowadays is a different world.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll try that out for
Yeah.
sure. The question is, who has a better run game? I already fucking know the answer to this, but who has a better run game, Nick Chubb or Najee in that game?
Bro, Nick Chubb looked fucking unstoppable
Yeah.
last week.
He is that offense right now.
Yeah, he is. Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's a question. I think it's just kind of a fact.
I that's just me trying to bring up once again that Najee is really disappointing.
I know.
Fantasy
Well,
football.
if you've liked what Chris and I have to say, like I said last week, we got a whole lot uglier.
I can't imagine they did. If you really think about it, dude, we did nothing but shit on everybody. And then we were like, oh, go Lions, go Steelers. So, like, we might have some people who are like, yeah, I like these guys. But the majority of anyone who's coming across is like, these guys are dicks.
Dude, I don't know if we said a good thing about any team that wasn't our own team.
Well, any team that came up, we were like, oh, they suck. Oh, did you see this
Trash,
thing?
bro.
Idiots.
And it's so funny.
Ass.
Two guys who could never make it in the NFL are talking shit about the NFL.
These losers over here making millions of dollars. They
Oh,
can't
man.
even do this.
Well, Chris, it's been fun. It's been a little
It's
less fun
been
without
great.
Justin. It's been a little less fun without Justin, but
I know. I was really looking forward to hear him talk about how this is the Cowboys' year after that win.
yeah,
They're
hopefully
going to the Super Bowl.
They're going to the Super Bowl. Hopefully, we did justice by you, Jay. Other than that, he's usually our social guy, but follow us at 3Amibros,
With the number 3
the number 3Amibros podcast on all
on
socials.
everything.
All socials. 12 what? Twitter.
What?
Twitter.
What?
Instagram.
12. You drew a 0 and went 12.
Yeah. So, boys, because I know no girls are listening to this, go follow us. Go drop a like. Go do whatever you're gonna do on this video. And until next time, the 3Amibros or the 2Amibros.
The 2
out.
me bros right now. See you guys.